but you need that kind of study time, kind of that routine. You can't just be like here and there, because you'll fail. That ass. Hi guys, my name is Yatia Lamide Adeburin, and welcome back to Living Life with Your Favorite Nurse. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel, share with your friends, and become part of the family. So today we're talking about nursing school study tips and tricks. These are tips that you're gonna need first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year. No matter what year you're in, you need to use these study tips to be successful. It's not just like any other program, unfortunately. It requires so much studying. Yeah, let's do it. So tip number one. So when it comes to studying for your exam, always focus on what was covered in class. You may have to go in depth, but typically what is covered on exams is usually kind of what was focused on in class. If you can read the whole chapter, read the whole chapter. If you can do extra studying and read, everything, absolutely try to do that. But in situations when you are also studying for something else, absolutely look at what was on the slides and then go back to the textbook and focus on that content. Usually that content will be covered in the exam. So always focus on what was taught in class. Tip number two, you cannot cram for nursing exams. I wish you could. It's not something that you can just be like, oh, A, oh, B, I'll remember that. Nursing exams are all about understanding. And it's like, oh, really? If you understand a concept, typically, no matter how it's asked, you should somewhat get the answer right. If it was about cramming, then all you could do is, cram the information. The reason why we get things wrong are because we actually don't understand the concepts. But when you understand the concept of heart failure, of left heart failure, right heart failure, it will help you to understand the question, because you might be able to cram what happens in each heart failure, but if you don't understand how it works, then answering the question becomes difficult. So really, really study to understand and not study to cram. Tip number three, you need study groups. Do not study alone. For me, I'm actually someone that loves to study alone. I love that. And I'm not telling you to change that, but at least what I did was I studied on my own, and when I felt like I knew a good amount of information, then I kind of studied with my friends. Then I kind of did practice questions with my friends. I'm someone that has to kind of try and get all the information on my own, and then I like to test out the information with friends. Some people like to start studying with friends. Whatever works for you, but just remember, you get a lot of information from your friends. What they understand, you might not understand, so they can help you out, and vice versa. And sometimes people find questions online, that are helpful for you to use, and sometimes they have resources that you don't. So you get a lot out of study groups. Definitely, it can just be like your close friends. You don't have to actually join a study group, but you can if you'd like. But try to study with people here and there. Study tip number four, skim then read. This one is important before attending class, but also before you just sit down and read everything, have a skim through it. Have something playing in the background, or chill and hang out and just kind of skim the notes. That's really, really helpful for when you start studying, because you kind of went over it a little bit. When you start reading, things kind of pop up and you're like, oh, I've seen that before, oh, I read that before just diving right into it. Especially before going to class, if you can skim when the prof is talking, you're like, oh, I remember hearing something about that. There's a lot of recognition when you skim before going to class, and also when you skim before studying. That is also a really, really important tip, and I'm telling you, try it. That is one of the tips that I used a lot in school, but near the end. I wish I used it in first and second year. Tip number five, a lot of people's favorite tip, is reward yourself. Reward yourself for an exam well done. Reward yourself for passing clinicals. Reward yourself for not losing your mind. Just, take time to do things for yourself. nursing school is hard as hell. So when you can, reward yourself. Buy yourself that new watch you've been eyeing. Take yourself out for ice cream, you know, a night out with your girls, a night out with your friends, whoever, a night out with your guys. Just remember your mental health during nursing school, because there's no way you can perform at your best, you know, if mentally, physically you're not at your best. So remember, your mental health actually affects your progress, affects how you're doing. So don't forget that through your journey. Tip number 6, I forgot what I was gonna say. Tip number 6, kind of have a study time. Let's say you have class till 4, maybe chill from 4 to 5, get something to eat, but no, on Mondays at 5 p.m. I go to the library and study, or Mondays at 5 p.m. I go home and I study for an hour. You can put your studying like here and there. It can't be like nonchalant. It can't be like, oh, maybe I'll study on Tuesday. You might not study every day, but you'll know throughout the week there are specific times that you crack open that book, you crack open that anatomy and physiology nasty ass book, and you read it. You read it. And it can't just be like here and there. It has to be a scheduled time. You have to get it together. You need those times throughout the week when you know you're gonna study. If you can do it extra, great, but you need that kind of study time, kind of that routine. You can't just be like here and there, because you'll fail. That ass. Tip number 7, the 45-15 rule. Study for 45 minutes, chill for 15 minutes. Study for 45 minutes, chill for 15 minutes. 45, 15, 45, 15. Okay, that one is really important, because in high school I would study 15, chill 2 hours. Study 15, chill 2 hours. My mother knows that. So yeah, you have to study for a lengthy period, which 45 minutes minimum. If you want to do an hour, great, but 45 minutes minimum. Treat yourself to 15, get a snack, watch a quick video on TikTok, like a couple pictures on Instagram, but then get back. So 45, 15, not a minute less, okay? I say this one a lot. Tip number 8, know your learning style. It's so important to know your learning style. We're all amazing, different people, so that means we all cannot study the same. Your best friend may be really, really into writing notes, or your best friend might be into not even studying. That cannot be your style if you're not that person. Like, you might be into watching videos online that teach you. For them, they might not learn that way. Someone also might be really into reading the entire textbook and they grasp it all. You need to know your learning style and study that way, because that's the best way for you to succeed. You cannot study with someone else's learning style unless that actually works for you, and if it does, then great. But either you're good at cue cards, either you kind of like the whiteboard method and you just write on a whiteboard, or you like to do notes, or you like videos. There are so many different things that you can do, so definitely Google different learning styles, and there might be learning styles that you haven't tried. Definitely take time to try them and see what best works for you and stick to it. There is no reason to fix something that's not broken. If you've been doing a certain learning style since high school and it still works for you, do it and succeed that way. You don't have to change it up again if it's not broken. Study tip number 9. This kind of goes into skimming before class and stuff, but this one is prep before class, no matter what that means. This can also be prepping before clinicals. Study a little bit before you go to clinicals. You best perform when you kind of know what's going on. So if that means going over notes, does that mean going over lectures, does that mean reading your textbook? Do that, study that way so that you can best perform in clinicals and so that you can best understand what the heck the prof is talking about in class, so that's not completely foreign to you. And then after class you go and kind of read about what the heck you didn't know. Tip number 10, seek additional study tools. People think that they have to get all their info from the textbook. You actually don't. There are so many things out there that help you. YouTube is an amazing study resource. They should pay me for saying that, but it's actually true. I use YouTube a lot to study. To be honest, like, I didn't really get a lot from what the profs were saying, and my textbook was just a bunch of words. I was on YouTube day and night watching certain channels, and they helped me understand diabetes, they helped me understand ketoacidosis, they helped me understand left and right-sided heart failure. YouTube deserves my money because I passed with YouTube. Yeah, I did. So honestly, look for other resources. Whatever other resources are out there, look into them. If you have to spend a little bit of money to help you pass, I think there's no problem doing that. But just know that your textbook isn't the only resource. So look to see what's out there. Alright, amazing future nurses, thank you so much for tuning in today. Again, if you haven't liked this video, like it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe, become part of the family. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what tips you guys are using. Let me know how it's going. How is nursing school online? Just let me know how you guys are doing. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I wish everyone the best of luck this semester and next semester, whichever semester you are in when you watch this video. You will be an amazing nurse, you will be a great nurse, and you're almost there, even if you're in first year. I hope you guys have a blessed week and keep living life from your favorite nurse.